What is accrued expenses? Accrued expenses, also known as accrued liabilities, are expenses that a company has incurred but not yet paid. These expenses are typically recorded on a balance sheet and are considered to be the current liability. There are many kinds of accrued expenses, such as salaries payable, utilities payable, rent payable, and interest payable. Kinds of accrued expenses: salaries payable, rent payable, utilities payable, interest payable. Salaries payable, a type of current liability that represents the amount of money owed by employees to work performed but not yet paid. Rent payable. This represents the amount of rent that is owed by the company or tenant to the owner of the rented asset, such as a building or equipment. It is recorded on a balance sheet to reflect the obligation to make future rent payments. Utilities payable. These utility bills represent expenses incurred by the company for services such as electricity, water, or gas that have been used during a specific period but have not been settled or paid for yet. They are recorded as liability on the company's balance sheet until they are paid. Interest payable. A liability account shown on a company's balance sheet which represents the amount of interest expense that has been accrued to date but has not been paid as the date on the balance sheet. Debit, accounts payment, credit, expenses used and unpaid. Debit, accounts payable. This decreases the liability. Credit, cash or bank account. This decreases the asset. When you debit accounts payable, it means you are reducing the liability that a company owes to its creditors. This typically occurs when the company makes a payment to settle its outstanding debts. Example, if a company pays $1,000 to a supplier to settle an outstanding invoice, the journal entry would be debit, accounts payable, $1,000, credit, cash, $1,000. Debit accounts payable that the company has paid off part of all of its debt to suppliers, thus reducing its liabilities on the balance sheet. This action reflects a decrease in a company's obligation and an outflow of cash.